It's cool. Appreciate it. The article. That was cool. Yeah, of course. That was my son. Was like, my son's. No, I called him up. No, wait. He was like, when he saw this picture in the paper, he was like, oh my, this is awesome. That's all he was thinking. That was off the record. Yeah.
Nick, what did you think of the offense's performance yesterday?
Yesterday? Anytime you turn the ball over, you're not going to be happy with the results on offense. Now, what I did think is our defense was flying around. You could really notice the guys up front getting the pressure on the quarterback, collapsing the pocket a little bit, and our guys on defense not only got their hands on the ball, they finished with their hands on the ball. Like that's the catch that Avante Maddox made yesterday on the interception. That's an incredible play. The hustle of Davion Taylor to react and make off of Mac McCain's deflection, and then he's in a hook drop down here, right? He's in a hook drop about 20 yards away from it. He sprints. There's a batted ball, and he makes the play. I mean, that's an unbelievable individual effort by both Mac and Davion. And then I thought the third one was, again, we can't turn the ball over. I'm just noting how good the defense looked. Andre's pick on the seam ball, I thought that was outstanding as well. So we did some good things on offense yesterday. There's some really good teachable moments that that we're going to want to improve on. We're always going to talk about on both sides of this football. How do we win the explosive play battle, and how do we win the turnover battle, right? And so that's an emphasis at all times. You see how we start practice every single day with a ball security drill by the offense, and the defense is doing takeaway drills. So you just hope that those things are working on both sides. But you don't want to see turnovers by the offense, but you love seeing them by the defense. I'm the head coach, so I guess when something like that happens, I get to go to the side and I let Shane be mad about the interception. I can celebrate with the defense on that one.
Nick, with AJ Brown, he's kind of a unique player. Do you design plays for him, or do you come up with plays that are designed to get him the ball?
Yeah, of course. Do that with all our playmakers. And so, we're still, we did so much homework on AJ and the things that he does well, and it's not a projection, right? We saw him do these things in the NFL, right? And so we know a lot of the things he does well, and I was just coming out here and seeing it for yourself and daily in and out of practice, because that's when you get confidence in things, when you see it at practice. That's, as a coach, you're like, all right, that looked really good. Let's get another rep of that and get another rep of that. So we're compounding reps here with AJ to cement what we're thinking there with them. But yeah, of course, there's obviously that's our secret. That I'm not going to say what types of plays, because that's our advantage. No one's seeing how the Philadelphia Eagles use A.J. Brown, so Detroit would have to be the first one that will see that, And so we most definitely are planning plays for A.J. and because he's a heck of a playmaker.
It looked like Miles took all his work with the twos yesterday. It looked like Miles took all his work with the twos. Was there a particular reason for that?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. Our backs rotate. Those first three backs, Kenny and Miles and Boston, they rotate 3 plays and in and out for the first 2 sessions of the period. So the period split into 3 areas, 1s, 2s, 3s, and those 3 guys rotate that area. Miles is our guy. So there was, whether it was the way that the reps worked out yesterday, that he was in a couple more. Obviously, Bob prepares me for these questions. I knew you guys were going to ask this question for this particular case, and but no, when I saw that, and when Bob made me aware of that, that was my thought. I'm like, I don't think that happened, and then it just so happened to be the way the numbers worked a little bit. But Miles was in with the 1s as well, and Miles is our guy. So there's no secret. Miles is our guy, and we like to rotate our backs, right? But he's the guy.
Talk about the walkthroughs that you're putting in this year. What's the value of that? What do players get out of them? Because listening to talk, it's more than just. I think the initial reaction is just a day off or whatever. But it sounds like there's a lot of value for that.
Yeah, we're trying to get better every single day as with everything that we have, not just on practice field, like in the meeting. Like our secret we don't say to the guys, hey, get better every day and leave it. Or we don't say to the guys, hey, catch the football and leave it and don't give a coaching point. Or, hey, don't fumble it and leave it and don't give a coaching point. We give a coaching point on how we want them to get better every single day. And that is very clear of how we talk about it. It's high detail in meetings. We planned that if we just had a meeting day, then we would get better from that day. High detail, starting with the coaches, that the job description to the players is very clear. Here's your job on this play versus this look, this, and there's endless amount of looks that you need to prep the guys for. Here's your job on this look, this look, this look, this look, and this look. The detail is there. And then that the player understands his job description, and that, so high detail in meetings starting with coaches and understanding the job description. When we're in walkthrough, it's full speed to the snap. That means we're jogging to our alignments, we're doing our motion, and then the ball snap. That means your mind is working full speed the entire time. That is of great value in the NFL with the way practices have to work in the middle of the season as well. You're going to have short weeks, right? You're going to have short weeks that you play on a Thursday night, or you play on a Monday night, or your team's going to be banged up, or whatever it is. That those walkthroughs are always necessary because you can only get so many reps. And then the third thing that we talk about is high intensity at practice, right? And so that's our formula: high detail in meeting, full speed to the snap and walkthrough, and high intensity at practice. So, okay, we got a couple more walkthroughs, but we expect the intensity to be even harder at practice than ever before because your legs are going to be fresh. And we do it in a way that, I made an incentive to the quarterbacks the other day. So I think I answered your part on that. And I'll just say I made an incentive to the quarterbacks the other day that, hey, I got something for you guys, and I made it for Gardner and I made it for Jalen for every minute we get off the field earlier. That means I want them to I'm just making an incentive, and I won't tell you what the incentive is, but for pushing the tempo at practice, because I want to be efficient at practice, and I want to get conditioning work at practice, and I want to be in and out of the huddle to simulate the game. So we're trying to practice hard, fast, and physical as much as we possibly can. So that's our secret to how we're going to get better, a little bit better each day. Sorry, long answer, but
From the outside,
you guys will use that, and you guys are good writers.
From the outside looking in, it's kind of hard to figure out exactly where Jalen Reagor fits in. So how do you see?
Yeah, we have great depth at the wide receiver position, and so, he's battling. He's battling for a spot. No, he's not. And he is working with the twos right now, and so he's gotten a lot of balls over the last 2 days out here, and so he's done a nice job, and he's battling for a spot. He's battling for his return spot, and he's worked hard in the offseason to come back in great shape. That's something that we all noticed in the conditioning test, how good a shape Jalen was in, and he's just battling for a spot.
In terms of motion, particularly at the snap, you guys were among teams at the lower end of the spectrum last season. Obviously, I'm not going to give away what you're going to do this year, but how do you look at that number? Yeah. And in terms of what it does to a defense, it's important to increase it.
That's a good question, Jeff. I think that if you look at the history of offenses that I've been around and Shane's been around, that we typically haven't been a big motion team. That doesn't mean to say that's right. We don't want to, but with that being said, I don't want to be 24 and below ranked in anything in the NFL, right? So there's a balance to that. So we want to motion a little bit more. There's no secret in that because again, there's nothing, there's some stats that don't mean anything, but like we're looking at all the analytic stats. We're looking at all the stats and be like, hey, and that's something that you do at the end of the year, right? What are we 24th and below in, or 20th or below, whatever that number is, and sometimes it's 20 to 24, whatever. We don't want to be there. Like, so I'll go to a stat that other people would talk about as well. Like, all right, you're 24th in sacks given up. Now, thankfully, we weren't there, and we were in the top 10. But if you're there, you do whatever you need to do to fix that because you don't want to be low in anything. And so that's the same thing with some analytic stats as well. And so that is an emphasis. We want to motion a little bit more. But does that mean we're going to go from whatever we were in the league to number one? No, that hasn't been how our offense has been successful. But we'll do what we need. We'll do what we want to do when the defense pertains to it. We'll have reasons why we motion, and then we're going to motion a little more just to motion, just so we're not low in the league in that stat.
The developmental program that we saw at the end of practice, sort of that little.
You took over that one. You got beat out the other day, but then you took over that one. There you go.
Supposedly. But we saw that little period.
The
So
developmental.
Howie was talking about it, you were talking about it. As much as you're comfortable, do you have a coach that runs developmental? What's your sort of your philosophy?
We're all running that. Today we're going to split up a little different. There'll be a developmental at one portion of it, and then on the other portion, the guys are going to be doing some sort of conditioning on the other side. And that's just, we do that in the morning, right? Hey, here, you guys go with this group today. You guys go with this group. We have a staff meeting every morning. We have full staff meeting every morning. We have an offensive staff meeting and a defensive staff meeting every morning, and we go over it there. So that's planned day by day. The developmental part, though, is huge, right? The way we kind of think about it is like, okay, let's get Grant Calcaterra a ball, right? Let's get him a catch. You compare it to a shooter sometimes. Let him see the ball go through the hoop, right? Get him an easy touch. Let Harden see the ball go through the hoop, and he's gonna get on roll. We've had situations like that where, and then in fact, I don't mind sharing. Like in Indy when we did this, Naheem Hines caught some balls early in this developmental period, and he kind of just he's a great player. He took off anyway, but it just helped him take off. And same thing, we felt like that with Deion Kane in Indy, which he actually earned a starting spot his second year from that early on. So it's just something that gives the confidence to the young guys to execute the plays at speed and not in a walkthrough rep, and the attention of where the balls are going to them. The other thing I thought we did that consistently last year on Wednesdays and Thursdays after practice. So this isn't just a training camp thing. This is an off-season thing as well. Or pardon me, an in-season thing as well. And Gardner didn't have live reps with us here. He was with Jacksonville. And then when did we acquire him? Sure, right. So he didn't get the training camp with us where he got all the reps. And so those periods, those 5 to 8 play periods that he had in this developmental periods helped him grasp the offense. Now, Gardner's a smart guy. He probably could have done it on his own, but I do truly believe that it got him a little bit better, and it wasn't the first time he was running plays the first week he was starting against the Jets. And so there's multiple reasons why you do that developmental period, but Howie brings in these players that we all really like, and our job as coaches, I was taught this from day one. Larry Karras, my first time coaching, is like, we get players in here, you develop them. That's your job. How do we develop the players? And we think that's a big way that we can help them develop.
As far as the running back room goes in general, you have
I'll get you, but it's going to be a quick answer. Go ahead.
You have 5 running backs. I mean, it seems like a low number. Is there any challenge in trying to keep guys fresh at that position versus the reps you give them?
You have that discussion with guys all the time, like how many do we need at this position? How many do we need in this position? We feel comfortable with that number. We feel comfortable with that group. That doesn't mean we won't add. That doesn't mean we won't. But we feel comfortable with that group right at this particular time.
You like the need to keep them fresh, though. You don't want to burn them out, in the early days of camp or even as August goes on.
Yeah, and that's why they're rotating. That's why Miles was second team yesterday. No, but that's why they're rotating 3-3-3. You know what I'm saying? And so we do believe that's what we're doing with them with our rotations. Last one.
When you go 1 versus 1 versus when you go 1 versus 2.
Just I do, to be honest with you. And so it's just the thinking is, camp's a long camp, and I know we're early in practice, but there's a couple reasons, right? Quick answer for you, because I got to go out there, is, right, that it breaks up the monotony of camp. Lane Johnson's not only going against, right, and Devontae's not only going against Slay, right? And so it just breaks that up. And then the other thing is we talk about development, right? It gives the 2s a chance to see if they're ready to go against the 1s and who shines in that area. And so you always want to see that back end of your roster and how they do. And again, so it's monotony, and then just to give the 2s a chance to shine against the 1s.
All right, guys.
All right, guys.